We need boundaries because of the nature of the human experience and the nature of reality, which is duality, on the physical plane. And there is friction, there is intensity, and there are things and energies and people that you want to protect yourself from, right? If you don't heal, you bleed on others, right? And this is very true. If you don't do your own healing, your own self-discovery, then you're going to hurt other people unconsciously, but still you're going to hurt them. You're going to hurt yourself and you're going to hurt others. Yeah, maybe when you are Buddha and you transcended all human limitations, you don't need the boundary and the protection because you are in the love and light. But until you are here on the earth in the physical 3D and you are interacting with people who also have things, and want to bleed on you, then you absolutely need a boundary, and you have to have healthy boundaries to have healthy relationships towards yourself and then towards other people and towards the world. Hello, and welcome back to my podcast, Self-Discovery Simplified. And today I'm going to talk to you about boundaries, which is one of my favorite topics. And if you follow my podcast, then you're going to hear a lot about boundaries and how to set a boundary. And this is, I think mainly for women. I'm sure there are a lot of men who also struggle with this, but obviously, because of history, women more had a problem with this issue, right? Because 100 years ago, women were literally property of man. So that means you have no boundaries. You just do what you are told, right? You cannot have a boundary. And let's start with the idea, why do we need a boundary? Because I love, all the spiritual people saying that, oh, you don't need boundaries because everything is love and light and everything comes from the love. And so we are all one and all that. And I do believe it's true, I do resonate with this idea, but I also think that we are in a physical reality, in a human reality, right? So there is many layers of reality, and I believe that we are multidimensional beings, and we're going to talk about what that means. But yeah, maybe there is a state of being or a state of or another reality where you don't need boundaries because we are all connected and everything is pure love and light, and there is no need for boundaries because there is no contrast, there is no duality, right? So I think that multiple things can be true at the same time. So even if this is true, the reality of a human life is that when you are a human being, when you are having a human experience, right, then you are in a reality when there is duality, which means that there is a contrast, yeah, good or bad, black and white, all those kinds of things. And the two polarity crashes together, right? So there is turbulence, there is intensity, right? And so that's one reason we need boundaries, because of the nature of the human experience and the nature of reality, which is duality, on the physical plane. And there is friction, there is intensity, and there are things and energies and people that you want to protect yourself from, right? And another reason is because we are all wounded, we all have trauma, we all carry all kinds of shit. I mean, maybe somebody not, maybe not all, but in the West at least, or people that I ever met. Okay, I don't want to generalize, maybe not all the people, but most of the people, right, carry a lot of stuff and trauma and and wounds inside. And maybe you heard that phrase that if you don't heal, you bleed on others, right? And this is very true. If you don't do your own healing, your own self-discovery, then you're going to hurt other people unconsciously, but still you're going to hurt them. You're going to hurt yourself and you're going to hurt others. And this is how it goes. And that's another reason why we need boundaries and we need protection. Okay. So my point is that, yeah, maybe when you are Buddha and you transcended all human limitations, you don't need a boundary and the protection connection because you are in the love and light. But until you are here on the earth in the physical 3D and you are interacting with people who also have things, and want to bleed on you, then you absolutely need a boundary, and you have to have healthy boundaries to have healthy relationships towards yourself and then towards other people and towards the world. And this is very important. For a child, if you are raising a child and you set no boundaries, that will make a child anxious. Actually, boundaries provide containment and security. So, right, if you imagine that you have boundaries, or the child has boundaries and they know which are the rules, boundaries are rules and agreements that we are talking about. And then you know all the rules and the agreements, and you know how far you can go into each direction. That provides you with comfort, that provides you with knowing, that provides you with relaxation, that provides you with containment, and that provides you with safety, because you know that, okay, if I'm staying, inside these boundaries, that I'm safe, right? And I'm protected. So boundaries are not bad. It's not against other people. It's for your well-being, for your protection, for your containment, for your safety. Okay. And if you are an adult, it's your responsibility to provide your safety and to set healthy boundaries for yourself. Okay. And so that's the main reason why we need boundaries, because a lot of people even questioning that you don't need any boundaries, and you should just not be affected by hurtful people doing horrible stuff to you. You should transcend that. And this is an idea for sure, but I'm not on that level. Maybe you are, close to Buddha or something, and good for you, but I'm certainly not, and most people I know, they are not on that level. Okay, so that's number one. If you don't have boundaries, these are the consequences of not having boundaries. And I'm sure that some people who listen to this will recognize, themselves in these scenarios. Okay, loss of power. So you feel disempowered. You feel like you cannot do anything about the situation. You feel that you cannot protect yourself, that you have no choice. Yeah, that's what disempowerment means, that feeling of powerlessness. Okay, that there's nothing you can do about your suffering, about the painful situation that you are in. Okay, victimhood, right? It will result in victimhood. If you don't have boundaries, you're gonna be a victim and a prey for other people. And look at nature. Look at in the safari, the lion and the gazelles and all that. So the predators go for the weakest link. They go for the young. They go for the elderly. They go for the broken legged or the sick, because they're not gonna challenge the alpha male, to fight, because there is more effort for them, and it's also a possibility of them losing, right? So they want the secure win, which is get the weakest link, and for sure you're gonna succeed getting the prey, right? So if you don't have power, if you don't have boundaries, then energetically is written on your forehead that I am a prey, and that's why a lot of people who were victimized continue being victimized, and attract predators, because energetically the predators feel that that's an easy prey. That's somebody that is not going to put up a fight. That is somebody that is not going to say no, and they can feel it. Okay, this is not something that is conscious. Maybe consciously some people also do it, but it's more energetic, that people, abusive people and predators, navigate towards people who are disempowered and who have no boundaries. So that leads to being victimized over and over again, and being stuck in this victimhood and this powerlessness. And what that leads to is loss of your energy. When you don't have boundaries, you don't have containment, your energy is going away, and other people taking your energy. So these type of people are often taken advantage of, by takers, by energy vampires, by leeches, who are just taking. Yeah. So you're gonna lose your own energy that you need to nurture and to sustain your own life. And that will lead to health problems eventually, and not just your physical health, but also mental health, burnout, depression, anxiety, different patterns like dysfunctional patterns like self-sacrifice, anger, resentment that you're holding on to that can lead eventually to bitterness, and eventually loss of identity, like you don't even know who you are because you don't define yourself anymore. You do not exist. You are just exist for other people's pleasure to serve them and to, right? So, and toxic relationships, right? So toxic relationships are a big sign that there is a boundary issue there, yeah? Because if there is so much toxicity in a relationship, one person is normally the predator and the other one is the prey. That's normally the setup, right? So there is serious consequences of not having a boundary and not being able to advocate for yourself, to say no when you think no, when you mean no. And these are the consequences. And maybe some of you are recognizing that you are in this kind of situation and you are already experiencing the consequences of that. And if this is where you are, I just want to say to you that, it's not too late. It's not too late. You can learn to set a boundary at any age, at any moment in time. Right now is the best moment to start. And this is a learning process, and you can educate yourself and you can get help and support and you can learn how to do this and you can apply this knowledge in real life. And, you can start to put those boundaries that you need in order to be contained, to feel safe, to take the power back over your life and to start create some changes that you desire. So this is, this is very important, that don't despair. Like literally, like almost every woman who I work with in my program, this is a big issue for them. And it was a huge issue for me. So like, I know it from inside out. I went through it. And yeah, in the next episode, I'm going to talk to you about how to set a boundary and what are the most common challenges that people face when they want to start setting boundaries in situations where there wasn't a boundary before, and that kind of creates upheaval in the relationships. Okay, so stay tuned for the next episode. And for today, the practical tip is to write a list of situations when you find it difficult to say no to people, okay, to certain requests. Yeah, just write a list and notice, where are those moments when you want to say that no, or you feel that no, but you cannot express it, okay? And just think about that for a moment. And if you want to share with us one of the situations that you find difficulty, or a person that you really find difficult to set a boundary, oftentimes it's a family member, then you can write that down in the comment, because we always learn from each other. So stay tuned for the next episode when we continue diving deeper into the boundaries that we should set in order to have healthy and happy relationships. And have a wonderful, magical day.